This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
By what constitutional authority do you justify bringing this to us today?
Pretty heated exchange at today's Senate Finance Committee meeting where the state treasurer presented an alternative budget proposal. Dan Schwartz's plan is about $500 million less than what Governor Brian Sandoval's spending plan is. And that is tonight's Channel 2 News big story at 5 o'clock. Now, the governor's budget, of course, is that $7.3 billion budget. That includes $1.1 billion in tax extensions and new revenue. Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendy DeMonte.
I'm Kristen Remington. Thanks for being with us tonight. Treasurer Dan Schwartz's plan would eliminate some of those proposals from the governor that we heard in terms of new revenue. It would also force cuts in other areas. Paul Nelson was at today's Senate Finance Committee meeting. Paul, you know, it seems pretty unusual for the state treasurer to submit an alternative budget proposal. Why did he do it today?
Well, Kristen, you may recall a few weeks ago, the governor basically told his critics, hey, if you think you have a better plan, let's hear it. Schwartz took him up on the offer, but that didn't sit well with some of the committee members.
I'm in shock and dismay that you would be here today proposing this. I'm embarrassed for you, sir.
To say Senator Michael Roberson doesn't like the state treasurer's budget proposal would be an understatement. Dan Schwartz opposes Governor Sandoval's business fee modification plan that would generate $430 million for the next biennium.
We don't have to do it, but we shouldn't put the burden on small businessmen and the people who actually pay for this budget.
Schwartz says the business license fee hike is the same as the 2% margin tax that voters overwhelmingly shot down.
We think what the governor is proposing is significantly different than what the voters turned down. It's a simple business license fee. It's broad-based. It's pretty easy to calculate.
Wilden says Schwartz's $6.8 billion budget proposal would force cuts to the governor's educational programs. Many worry those cuts would cripple programs for anti-bullying and autism.
Joy's right here. She's right here. Look her in the face. Look her in the eyes. You tell her that she's not worthy of having a life.
Schwartz's plan includes an increase in gaming taxes. Another tax would add 25 cents to any tab at a hotel, restaurant, or bar, estimating it would generate $125 million a year. In the end, he says the final decision is up to the legislature.
I'm not cutting anyone's autism budget. I'm not cutting anyone's day kindergarten budget. But what I'm suggesting is the sources are not there. They're not there per the governor's budget.
To make a comment that, we haven't, put a sharp eye and a sharp pencil to what's needed for Nevada. And again, I think it's just shows lack of understanding of the process.
Wilden says the governor's staff started working on the budget about a year ago, trimming it from $8 billion to $7.3 billion prior to the State of the State address. He says cutting another $500 million from the budget would be nearly impossible. Covering the 2015 legislature, live in the studio, Paul Nelson.